I just wanted to address your concerns about my body and talk a little bit about what it means to be paid such close attention to. The body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body.
Ariana Grande broke down in tears during a recent interview when discussing the intense pressure she faced about her body while filming Wicked. According to sources close to the production, there were allegedly discussions about weight requirements for the role of Glinda, and now fans are connecting the dots to her noticeably thinner appearance over the past 2 years. The internet is absolutely losing it over what might have really happened behind the scenes of one of the most anticipated movies of the decade. Let's back up to when this whole thing started. In late 2021, Ariana was cast as Glinda in Universal's Wicked adaptation alongside Cynthia Erivo. Everyone was excited because, let's be real, Ariana was born to play this role. She's been obsessed with Wicked since she was a kid, and her vocal range is literally perfect for it. Production was set to begin in December 2022 at Sky Studios in London, and initially, everything seemed fine. But then, people started noticing changes.
How do you do to cope with beauty standards, to always look perfect?
My goodness. I'm not gonna... It's okay. It's okay.
By early 2023, photos of Ariana surfaced where she looked significantly thinner than she had in previous years. At first, fans brushed it off, thinking maybe it was just different styling or camera angles. Social media being social media, though, the comments started rolling in. Some people expressed concern, while others defended her, saying she looked healthy and happy. In March 2023, Ariana actually addressed the comments about her body in a TikTok video. She looked directly at the camera and talked about how harmful it is to comment on people's bodies, regardless of your intentions. She said, "The body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body."
Oh,
You
man.
are very good. You are very good.
Oh, my gosh. Well... Yeah.
That statement hit hard because she was essentially telling everyone that when they thought she looked her best, she was actually struggling the most. Now, here's where things get interesting. Around the same time, rumors started circulating in Hollywood circles about the physical demands of the Wicked production. Multiple sources, including blind items on entertainment gossip sites, suggested that there were specific aesthetic expectations for both lead roles. Glinda is supposed to be this ethereal, light, bubbly character who literally floats around in a bubble. According to one anonymous crew member who spoke to an entertainment blog, there were allegedly conversations about how the leads needed to look otherworldly and delicate. The Ozempic speculation really ramped up in summer 2023.
She said to prepare for Wicked, she was on a macrobiotic diet.
Her breakfast is oatmeal with blueberries and half of a banana.
I'm gonna eat the other half of the banana. Not very Wicked of me.
Doing a kale salad. This salad is almost too green. Adding tomatoes for some personality.
For context, Ozempic is a diabetes medication that's become the worst-kept secret in Hollywood for weight loss. Celebrities have been using it off-label, and the results are pretty dramatic. Suddenly, half of Hollywood started looking noticeably thinner within months of each other. Ariana's name got thrown into that conversation, especially because the timeline matched up with her Wicked preparation. But Ariana has consistently denied taking any weight loss drugs. In an interview with Vogue in September 2023, she addressed the rumors indirectly, saying she was focusing on her health and wellness during the filming process. She mentioned eating whole foods, working with a nutritionist, and doing daily workouts as part of her role preparation.
I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly and at the lowest point of my life when I looked the way you consider my healthy.
She also talked about the mental health aspect, explaining that she was in therapy and working through a lot of personal stuff. The crying incident that really set the internet on fire happened during a podcast interview in October 2024. Ariana was promoting Wicked with Cynthia Erivo, and the host asked about the physical transformation both actresses went through for their roles. Cynthia talked about the intense rehearsals and the physical demands of the flying sequences. Then, Ariana got visibly emotional. Her voice started shaking, and you could see tears forming in her eyes. She said something along the lines of, "People don't understand what it's like to have every single part of your body scrutinized while you're trying to bring a childhood dream to life." She mentioned that there were days on set where she felt like she couldn't win. If she looked one way, people said she was too thin.
It's a good question.
That question from French outlet Oui Oui Baguette left Wicked star Ariana Grande in tears and addressing her body shamers.
If she gained weight, people would probably say she wasn't right for the role. The vulnerability in that moment was real, and you could tell this had been eating at her for a long time. Cynthia actually jumped in to support her, and the two of them had this really raw conversation about the pressure Black women and women in general face in the entertainment industry regarding their bodies. Cynthia mentioned that she also faced comments about her physique and how she needed to look strong enough to play Elphaba while also fitting into the elaborate costumes. Now, let's talk about what allegedly happened behind closed doors. According to multiple reports from Entertainment Insiders, there were supposedly very specific requirements in the contracts for both leads. One source told a popular entertainment outlet that there were clauses about maintaining a certain appearance throughout filming, which isn't uncommon for big-budget productions.
But that in fact wasn't my healthy. You never know what someone is going through. You never know. So be gentle with each other.
However, the specific nature of these requirements allegedly caused tension on set. A makeup artist who worked on the film, speaking anonymously to an industry blog, claimed that there were weekly weigh-ins for costume fittings. They said this was presented as a practical necessity because the costumes were so elaborate and expensive that they needed to ensure consistent sizing. But, reportedly, this created an environment where both actresses felt constant pressure about their weight. The director, John M. Chu, has never directly addressed these allegations. In interviews, he's talked about how supportive the set was and how much he admired both Ariana and Cynthia's dedication to their roles. He's mentioned the intense choreography, the vocal training, and the emotional depth required for these characters. But he's notably stayed quiet about any discussions regarding physical appearance requirements. Universal Pictures released a statement in November 2024 after the crying interview went viral. They said, "Universal is committed to creating safe and supportive environments for all our actors. Any suggestions that we mandated specific weight requirements for our cast are completely false." The statement went on to praise both actresses for their professionalism and talent. But here's the thing that people keep pointing out. Hollywood has a long, documented history of putting actresses through hell when it comes to their bodies. We've heard stories from actresses like Jennifer Lawrence talking about being told to lose weight for roles, or Anne Hathaway discussing the extreme diet she went on for Les Miserables. The original Wizard of Oz from 1939 literally put Judy Garland on diet pills and cigarettes to keep her thin while working grueling hours as a teenager. The irony of that history repeating itself with a Wizard of Oz adaptation isn't lost on anyone. Twitter exploded with people pointing out that we're apparently still doing this to actresses 85 years later. One viral tweet said, "Dorothy got abused in the 1930s and we're still abusing the Good Witch in 2024. Hollywood never changes."
Comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous. And I think it's dangerous for all parties involved because no one has the right to say.
Ariana's fans, the Arianators, have been incredibly protective throughout all of this. They've been fighting back against body-shaming comments and defending her right to privacy about her health. At the same time, they've been expressing concern because they can see that she's struggling. Fan accounts have compiled timelines showing her weight fluctuations over the years, and many fans are worried that the pressure of this role pushed her too far. In December 2024, Ariana posted a series of photos on Instagram from the Wicked set. She looked happy in the pictures, smiling with cast and crew members, wearing her full Glinda costume. The caption was simple, "The most magical experience of my life." But if you read the comments, It's a mix of support and concern. People are saying things like, "We love you, please take care of yourself," and "You don't owe anyone an explanation about your body." The conversation around this has sparked a larger discussion about body image in Hollywood, particularly for women. Several other celebrities have weighed in. Jamila Jamil, who's been outspoken about body positivity, tweeted about the situation without naming Ariana specifically. She said something like, "Stop asking actresses to shrink themselves to play fairy tale characters. Stop asking them to be anything other than talented." Lily Reinhart also posted on her Instagram story, reportedly in response to the Wicked situation, talking about how the entertainment industry's obsession with thinness is damaging and outdated. She mentioned that younger generations are watching and internalizing these messages about what bodies are acceptable. Now let's address the Ozempic question directly because everyone wants to know. Medical experts have weighed in saying that without knowing someone's medical history, it's impossible to determine whether weight loss is from medication, diet, and exercise, or other factors. Dr. Caroline Apovian, who's a weight loss specialist, told a health publication that the Ozempic speculation around celebrities is harmful because it stigmatizes both the medication and the people who might legitimately need it for diabetes.
This isn't the first time a fired-up Ariana has spoken out. Last year, she took to TikTok.
The body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body.
At the same time, there's been reporting about how easy it is for celebrities to get Ozempic prescriptions in Los Angeles. Multiple pharmacies and concierge doctors apparently offer it to anyone willing to pay, regardless of whether they actually have diabetes. The going rate is reportedly around $1,500 a month, which is pocket change for someone at Ariana's level. Several other celebrities have admitted to using Ozempic for weight loss. Comedian Chelsea Handler said she didn't even realize her doctor had prescribed it to her. Elon Musk tweeted about using Wegovy, which is basically the same drug. But the ones who admit it are usually not facing the same kind of scrutiny as actresses in major film roles. The double standard is pretty obvious. When male celebrities lose weight dramatically, people applaud their discipline. When actresses do it, especially for roles, everyone wants to know their secrets and start speculating about eating disorders or drug use. It's a no-win situation. Ariana has always been open about her mental health struggles. She's talked about PTSD following the Manchester Arena bombing in 2017, anxiety, and depression. In her 2024 interviews, she's mentioned that therapy has been crucial during the Wicked filming process. She said that the emotional weight of playing Glinda while dealing with public scrutiny about her body was sometimes overwhelming. Cynthia Erivo has been her biggest defender throughout this whole thing. In multiple interviews, Cynthia has shut down questions about Ariana's appearance and redirected the conversation to her talent. During one press junket, a journalist asked about the physical preparation for their roles, clearly fishing for comments about weight, and Cynthia cut them off. She said, "What you should be asking about is how incredibly talented this woman is and how she brought Glinda to life." The friendship between the two actresses has been one of the bright spots in this whole situation. They've posted countless photos together, attended events as each other's dates, and consistently supported each other publicly. Ariana has said that having Cynthia by her side made the difficult moments on set bearable. Production on Wicked wrapped in January 2024, but additional photography happened throughout the year. The movie is split into two parts, with Part 1 releasing in November 2024 and Part 2 scheduled for November 2025. Early reactions from test screenings have been overwhelmingly positive, with people praising both actresses' performances. But here's what's interesting. According to people who've seen the film, Ariana's performance is apparently heartbreaking in certain scenes. There's a moment where Glinda is looking at herself in a mirror, and reportedly, it's impossible not to think about what Ariana herself was going through while filming. Art imitating life in the most painful way. The Met Gala appearance in May 2024 was another moment that got people talking. Ariana wore a custom low-waist gown that showed off her extremely thin frame. The dress was beautiful, but the photos sparked another wave of concern online. Fashion critics praised the look, but regular people on social media were saying things like, "Someone please make sure she's okay." Her brother Frankie Grande addressed the situation in a now-deleted Instagram story around that time. He said something along the lines of, "My sister is healthy and happy. Please stop projecting your own issues onto her body." The fact that he deleted it suggests there might have been pushback, or maybe the family decided it was better not to engage with the noise. Let's talk about the broader issue of body requirements in film contracts. SAG-AFTRA, the actors union, has rules about this. Studios can include physical requirements in contracts, but they're supposed to be reasonable and related to the role. For example, if you're playing a boxer, you might need to be in fighting shape. If you're playing a marathon runner, similar deal. But where it gets murky is with roles that don't have a specific physical requirement written into the character description. Glinda is described as beautiful and popular, but there's nothing in the original material that says she needs to be a certain weight. The 2003 Broadway musical featured Kristen Chenoweth in the original run, and she's talked about how they didn't pressure her about weight. However, film is different from stage. The camera captures everything, and there's this pervasive belief in Hollywood that the camera adds 10 pounds, which is why there's often pressure on actresses to be extremely thin. It's an outdated and harmful practice, but it still exists. An entertainment lawyer speaking to Variety about situations like this said that while studios can't legally force someone to lose weight, they can make it clear through other means that it's expected. Things like costume designers commenting on how clothes fit, directors making suggestions about streamlining an actor's silhouette, or producers expressing concern about an actor's energy levels. In Ariana's case, we don't know exactly what was said or what wasn't said. What we do know is that she underwent a significant physical transformation during the filming of Wicked, and she's clearly been affected by the public and potentially private conversations about her body. The mental health aspect of this can't be overstated. Eating disorders are serious, and speculation about someone's health can actually make things worse. Organizations like the National Eating Disorders Association have released statements asking people to stop commenting on celebrities' bodies, regardless of whether you think someone looks too thin or too heavy. Ariana herself has hinted at struggling with disordered eating in the past. In older interviews from around 2014 and 2015, she's mentioned having complicated relationships with food and body image. She's never explicitly said she had an eating disorder, but she's talked about the pressure she felt as a young woman on television. The Nickelodeon years were particularly rough, according to people who worked on those shows. Multiple former child stars from that era have come forward with stories about being body-shamed by executives and producers. Jeanette McCurdy's memoir detailed eating disorders that developed partially from the pressure she felt at Nickelodeon. While Ariana hasn't shared stories like that, she came up in the same environment. Now we're in 2024, and Wicked is finally out. The reviews are praising both actresses, with many critics specifically noting how committed they were to their roles. Ariana is getting Oscar buzz for her performance, which should be the story. Instead, a significant portion of the conversation is still about her body. During the press tour for the film, you can see the toll this has taken. In some interviews, Ariana looks exhausted. She's still professional and charming, but there's a weariness there. When interviewers stick to questions about the character, the music, and the story, she lights up. When anything body-related comes up, even indirectly, she tenses. The crying moment wasn't just about the pressure from the production. It was about years of scrutiny, years of being told her body was wrong no matter what it looked like, years of trying to balance her own health with public expectations and professional demands. That's what people don't understand when they casually comment on a celebrity's appearance. Each comment is part of a cumulative weight that becomes unbearable. There's also the added layer of Ariana's personal life during this period. She went through a divorce from Dalton Gomez while filming Wicked. She started dating her co-star Ethan Slater, which created its own media firestorm. She was dealing with public criticism about her relationship while simultaneously facing scrutiny about her body. The stress of that combination would break most people. Some fans have pointed out that Ariana seems happier in recent photos and videos. She's been smiling more genuinely, engaging more on social media, and seems to have a bit more energy. Whether that's because filming is over, because she's in a happier relationship, or because she's genuinely doing better health-wise, we don't know. What we do know is that this whole situation has exposed something ugly about how we treat women in entertainment. The fact that we're still having these conversations in 2024 is depressing. The fact that a woman can't play a fairy tale character without her body being dissected by millions of people is absurd. Universal and the Wicked production team are obviously hoping this controversy doesn't overshadow the film itself. They've invested hundreds of millions of dollars into this two-part adaptation. The early box office numbers for Part 1 have been strong, which suggests that audiences are separating the behind-the-scenes drama from the actual movie. But for Ariana personally, this experience has clearly been transformative in ways both positive and negative. She achieved her childhood dream of playing Glinda, but at what cost? That's the question a lot of people are asking. The entertainment industry needs to reckon with these practices. There should be clear guidelines about what can and can't be required of actors regarding their physical appearance. There should be support systems in place for actors who are facing pressure about their bodies. There should be consequences for productions that create unhealthy environments. Will anything actually change? Based on history, probably not immediately. But the conversation is happening, and that's something. People are paying attention to how actresses are treated on major productions. Social media has given fans a platform to call out problematic behavior. That public pressure can sometimes lead to change, even if it's slow. For Ariana, the hope is that she's able to find peace with her body and her health, regardless of public opinion. She's incredibly talented. She's worked her entire life for opportunities like Wicked, and she deserves to be celebrated for her performance without the constant commentary about her appearance. The Ozempic speculation, whether true or not, is ultimately beside the point. The real issue is the system that makes actresses feel like they need to shrink themselves to fit into Hollywood's narrow beauty standards. Until that changes, we're going to keep seeing stories like this. So, what do you think actually happened during the Wicked production? Do you believe the pressure was as intense as sources claim, or do you think this is being blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to see more deep dives into Hollywood controversies, make sure to hit that subscribe button.